Mr. Stan Lee, first of all,
Claire,
cheers. Thank
great
you.
to see you, dear.
It's so nice seeing you, and I am so appreciative for you coming over and letting me steal just a few minutes of your time.
You should be.
I am. I really am.
It's nice to know that you appreciate the generosity that I'm showing. And
I do.
I want to tell you that it's not too unpleasant for me to be interviewed by one of the prettiest girls in the convention.
Ah, Stan, you flatter. You flatter.
And thank you for the beer.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And let us clink our glasses.
Yes, let's clink.
And
to,
let's give a great interview.
To Philadelphia.
Even though neither of us know what we're talking about.
We don't really know what we're doing. We don't know what we're talking about. So, Stan, obviously, I mean, look around here. You have become such a legend with this culture, especially. I mean, people come out in droves. You are busy 24/7 when you come to these conventions. Are you still amazed at the longevity and the impact that your work has had?
Oh, no, I expect it. If I walk by anybody and the person doesn't say, "Hiya, Stan, I'm your biggest fan," I get very angry.
You do, yes. And, okay, so going on that, how many tattoos in this room do you think you've inspired?
How many what?
Tattoos.
You know, the most amazing thing, so many people ask me to write my name on their arm or their shoulder or wherever, and then they take it and have tattoos made. I don't know if these people are forgers who want an example of my signature always at hand.
Right,
so
right
they
here.
Can sign at a restaurant or when they buy a car. I don't know.
You know what? That's a really good point. I never thought of that.
In fact, this may give me an idea for another story.
I think that this is a good character you can develop.
See, in this business, anything that happens to you can give you an idea for a story.
A character.
You know,
yes,
character.
yes.
In fact, while I'm talking to you, you would make the greatest villainess because nobody would suspect you. You look so pretty and so sweet and so innocent and demure. I could see you as the brains behind the deadliest mob in the city.
I would love to play a role like that. That would be amazing.
And then when they make a major tentpole motion picture about it, who else would they pick?
Exactly.
And only if you promise to give me a cameo.
Cheers. Your cameo in The Avengers was awesome. In fact, when I was watching that movie, I was kind of waiting the whole movie. I'm like, I know Stan's in here. I know there's been spoilers everywhere. Did you and Joss decide together where your cameo was going to be?
Joss decided that totally.
Okay.
I'll tell you what happened. I had another cameo before that one.
Okay.
Where I was sitting at a table in Manhattan at a little outdoor restaurant.
Okay.
And Captain America, excuse me, he wasn't in costume, he was Steve Rogers.
Okay.
He was sitting next to me at the next table. And he was eyeing this pretty little blonde waitress, not unlike you.
Oh.
And he keeps eyeing her. And my cameo was, I lean over and I say, "Why don't you talk to her, you moron?" And that was my cameo. And I did it. And as you can imagine, I did it magnificently, as I tend to do.
Always the professional.
Right.
Always perfect.
Right. But Joss came over and he said, "Stan, would you mind doing that again without the glasses? Because there's a glare from the lights."
Okay.
The professional that I am, the glasses came off.
Took them off.
We shot it again, better than ever. But they never used it because they then figured I didn't look enough like me.
Like you, nobody. Well, it was perfect when they were panning through the shots at the end, and you turned around in the Washington Square Park chess table, and what was your line? Superheroes.
Something about it.
Who believes in
effects,
that?
You know.
Yeah.
And but now I'm going to tell you another secret.
Okay, tell me. I'm all ears.
You mustn't divulge this to anybody because it's something. It's very, very private and personal in the film industry. The real reason that The Avengers is doing so well is my cameo, and here's why. You mentioned yourself, it's very brief.
Yes.
A lot of people missed it. Now, what happens when you miss my cameo?
You have to go again.
You run back to the
You
box
have
office.
got to go again.
You've got to buy another
Yes.
ticket because you're not going to leave unless you've seen that cameo.
That is true.
So they actually would have sold half as many tickets.
If
I
not
love
for my
it.
cameo.
I love it. And hey, let's
I
cheers
hope-
to that.
I hope that this interview, great as it is, I hope this interview is being viewed by many other people who are producers and Hollywood studios who are saying to themselves, we'd better give Stan a cameo in our film so we'll make twice as much money. You know, a word to the wise, guys, wherever you are.
Yes, wherever you may be, Stan's the way you get those box office numbers.
I'll tell you what, you do a lot of interviews. I bet you rarely do any as nutty as the one with me.
Well, you know.
But I'm having a good time.
Well,
Here's
good.
to
I'm
you.
glad. Let me ask you this. You also had the Comic-Con documentary come out that you produced with Joss and Kevin Smith and a couple other people
Tonight, what do I have?
this year. No, the documentary, the Comic-Con.
Oh,
documentary.
yes. Is that on tonight?
I don't think they're playing it tonight, but they may be screening it somewhere. Was that fun to make? Was that fun to?
Well, I didn't have much to do with the making of that.
You did-
They just interviewed me once.
Okay.
or twice. They picked my brains,
They just want to throw your name on those producer titles.
and they love having my name there.
Of course.
I obviously told them everything of importance that they needed to know. And then I said, okay, guys, I've told you all again, go do it.
Go.
They did a good job.
Yeah, no, it was a great film. It was really enjoyable, yeah.
I got to tell you, I am so fond of Kevin Smith.
I love him. Isn't he great?
He has a new show on, I forget the network, one of the cable networks.
I think it's TNT, the one where it's about his comic store and the podcast where they.
No, I don't think this is about the store. This is, although it may, no, this is for a new channel of some sort.
Okay.
And I just did it with him. I think I was his first guest a few days ago.
Oh wow.
So he's fresh on my mind.
Oh yeah.
And the thing I don't like about him, he's as clever as I am. And I don't think I need the competition.
No, you want to have someone you can beat down.
See, that's
Yep.
why I'm not happy having this interview with you.
Ah,
Because
well,
I don't know if anybody is even paying attention to me.
yeah, look, this camera is only for you. It's only getting the back of my head. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I want to tell you, the viewers are the losers.
So, let's see. Tell me about your YouTube channel. You're
what?
starting your own YouTube channel.
We have a channel called, I don't even know it. I think it's called
Superheroes.
the Superhero, Stan Lee's Superhero.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's on Vugaru.
Okay.
That's Michael Eisner's Vugaru, that new thing at the channel of his.
Okay.
So my Stan Lee's Superhero something world or channels, I have no memory. We are
All
going
they need to know is Stanley.
Oh, I like your attitude, and you're right. We're going to have all sorts of programming, funny.
I think Bonnie Burton is doing a show on your channel,
That's right.
and Adrian Curry, both
Oh,
friends
my
of
God,
mine.
You know more about it
Yeah.
than me. Then
Hey.
I forget. But now that you mention it, I remember.
Yeah,
And
they're
some of
great.
Some of them, as I say, are humorous. I love to do things. You wouldn't know it listening to me now, but I really love a sense of humor. And some of them are scary, some of them are superhumanish, and some of them are just about real people, but not your average real
Right,
people. You know what I mean?
right.
So it's Stan Lee's World of Heroes, and it's on YouTube. And of course, anybody who doesn't tune in,
They're not-
I feel
yeah.
sorry for them missing so
They
much.
obviously don't care about heroes.
And they won't be able to talk to people who are hip and who are in the know.
No.
If they don't tune in.
They're
It's
losing
all
out.
people are talking about.
Yeah.
I mean, I tried to steer the conversation away, but I couldn't stop you from bringing it up. See, there's proof
No, I'm
positive.
excited to check it out. I mean, like I said, there's cool people involved. It's not just you. You're
Yeah,
bringing in
right.
like a group that's well known in this community too.
And
so
I think we have like 16, 17 viewers already.
That's awesome. And then on Twitter, you're The Real Stan Lee, and your Facebook page is The Real Stan Lee, so people can find you all.
That's as opposed to the phony Stan.
As opposed to the fake Stan Lee or the fiction Stan Lee.
He's a guy who's been going around the conventions calling himself Stan Lee, but he does it as a gag. He's obviously not me.
No.
He looks a little like me, not as charming.
Not as gorgeous, yeah. Not as
But
dapper.
I'm kind of flattered that a guy would do that. you know?
He's your, hey, maybe that can be an inspiration for a new character, the other you.
Maybe I'll put him on my channel. Maybe that's what he's after.
Oh,
Then
yeah.
I'll have him in control.
I
It's
think, yeah,
my
then you can.
channel.
It reminds me of a story about one of the people who played an Ewok played an Ewok in the Star Wars, was going to convention selling pictures of himself. Well, it later came out that he wasn't in any of the films, and of course, when he's in his Ewok costume, nobody would know.
Yeah, that's right.
So
Wow.
there's those secretive things happening out there.
Wouldn't it be funny if you found out I was the guy? Because I wouldn't put it past me. If I had thought of it, I didn't think of it.
Well, that's true. That's true. Well, I cannot thank you enough.
No, you can. You
yes,
can thank
I
me
can.
enough. Try.
Thank you, Stan. Thank you. One more thing. I heard a story a long time ago that you were approached by the government at some point to develop a character. Can you tell me a little more about this?
To do what? To
To
create
develop a character, yes.
I don't know specifically what you're talking about. Years ago,
Okay.
when the government was in the 60s, they were concerned about kids turning on, too involved in drugs.
Right.
And they asked me if I could do a story because they felt, rightly so, that Marvel had great influence
Correct.
with the youth of America. I mean, they said Marvel. They didn't want to give me a swelled head. What they meant was me.
What they meant was that you stand.
Obvious,
Yes, obviously.
So I wrote a story, a three-parter in the Spider-Man series, in which he knows a guy who's been taking drugs, and the guy in one section is standing on the edge of a building and thinks he can fly like a bird, and he's going to jump off and he'll die.
Right.
Spider-Man saves him and gives him a lecture on you shouldn't take drugs. I mean,
Okay,
it's
okay.
as innocuous as that.
Right.
And I wrote it in such a way that it wasn't really that preachy.
Obvious.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyway, at that time we had the Comics Code of America organization. They censored all the comic books.
Okay.
And we had to submit every book before the book was then written. They rejected those stories, that three-parter.
Oh, really?
Because they said, according to the code, we're not allowed to mention drugs in a comic. I said, with great wisdom and forbearance, I said, we're not telling kids to take drugs. It's an anti-drug
Yeah,
story.
this is the message. Yeah.
They said, well, it doesn't matter. You mentioned drugs and you're not supposed to. So this is one time I was very proud of my publisher. I said to him, I think we should publish the books without the seal of approval. And we did.
Yeah.
And they sold great. And we had letters of commendation from the Office of Health, Education, and Welfare, from the State Department, from principals of schools, and all over the country.
Okay.
Parents organizations. And because of that, the code finally realized how insane they were, and they changed.
Well, I mean, thank goodness that you made the wise decision to move forward publishing. Yeah. You are known for that.
I don't know if that's the story you were
It
thinking
is.
of.
It is.
Okay, thank goodness, because I never want to frustrate you.
No.
I never want you to go away feeling I asked a question and I didn't get the right answer. That's a terrible feeling.
That was
I would
how
never
could
do
I
that to you.
How could I go wrong, Stan? Like I said, I'm grateful that you're sitting up here with me. That is Stan Lee from Philadelphia. Cheers to you.
And I never had a better time, young lady.
It's
And
the
Claire-
best time he's ever had.
Claire, I think you're great. It once
Well, thank you. Thank you so much.
And hello to all our Philadelphia friends.
That's right. To Philly.